How are you?
Good.
Yeah.
I
Oh
just
my
had to set
goodness.
up the laptop so that I can see the comments because I can't see the comments. It's weird.
Oh, because you would have to switch back and forth.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, yeah. Look at this. We have some people in the chat. I want to start by saying good morning to everyone. And it is Friday. Yes, it is. And guys, Friday. Today's the marathon, the beginning of the marathon. So that's going to be super exciting.
Pop 3 Viagra already. I'm ready to go.
All right, let's say good morning. Let's see. We have Rhonda. Good morning, Shadow Woman.
Hi,
Mwah.
Rhonda.
How are you? Glenn is here. Good morning, Glenn. Mwah. How are you, honey?
Oh, yeah. Mwah.
And my beautiful soul, Bonnie. Good morning. Mwah, honey.
Bonnie.
Oh, oh, and look who's here, Pam. Good morning, my beautiful Pam. You
I
know,
like how she does this for you, Pam.
I do. I do that. Hoo, 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 Pam. She's amazing. I love her. Stacy. Good morning, Stacy. How are you, honey? And the one and only Jennifer, the
Hi, Jen.
queen. Mwah, honey. How are you? Let's see. Who else do we have? Oh, guess who else we have? Mr. Bisalot is in the chat. Mwah. And UFC. Good morning, honey. How are you? Mwah. You're listening while you're working? That's amazing. And then we have Nantiku. If I butchered that name, I am so sorry. Nantiku. Good morning. And I don't think, let me see.
Nancy Joe.
Nantiku?
Yep, Nantiku.
Nantiku. Almost like Antiku, but it's
Yep.
Nantiku. I just want to give her a wrench or him a wrench. I'm not sure.
Pam. Yes, she does.
Let me get here, honey. Nantiku. Nantiku. Where are you, Nantiku? There you are. There you go, honey. I want you to be blue. And Ronnie, good morning, Ronnie. Mwah, my twisty.
Hey, Ronnie G.
You're up early this morning. Ooh, I bet you she wouldn't miss this one. Young Star Girl, good morning, Star Girl. Mwah, you're awesome. And Simply Dana, good morning, Simply Dana, the woman with the beautiful voice. Mwah. And Jill, good morning, beautiful Jill. How are you? Mwah. Who else do we have? Bonnie, Shadow Woman, Bonnie, Jennifer. I'm just going down the list here. Oh, Marsha. Good morning, Marsha. This and that. Mwah.
Marsha.
I think we've caught up so far. So, oh, Geezer. I forgot Geezer. Geezer's here. Hey, Kat. Mwah. Good morning, honey. How are you? And Janine. Hello, Janine. Mwah. Another awesome mod. She's your mod, right?
Yes, she is.
That's right.
Ooh, it's our mod.
Mama.
Pam and I. Pam and mine. That's it. Nobody else's.
Good morning, Mama. Mwah. How are you? I'm not sure if
Hello, Mama Ames. Hello, Yun.
Mama. There we go. Just added Mama to the list of blue. So, are you ready?
I'm always ready.
You're always ready? You're always up and ready to go?
Well, in the morning it happens.
So everyone knows Brian, Mr. Buys a Lot. And if you're not subscribed, in the description bar is his link. Please go subscribe. Turn on all notifications. He's got amazing content. He's been putting a lot of videos out, which is awesome. And he has an auction Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Starts at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And it usually lasts until about 4:30. And Pam is usually on there selling his items. So it's a great show. Great auction, I should say. Great stuff.
Yep, she's my sugar mama.
She's a sugar mama, baby. All right. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Where were you born? Stuff like that.
In a hospital.
Uh huh.
Uh, I was born in Asheboro, North Carolina, actually.
Oh,
So I've lived, East Coast mostly, North Carolina, Pennsylvania. Now we're in South Carolina. I lived in Hawaii for about 2 years.
oh wow.
So kind of lived all over. If I had a choice, I'd probably live California or Hawaii again. It's so expensive that
Yeah.
it's like I don't want to, you know, I don't want to work as a living to not be able to afford to do anything else. So what good is it to enjoy an area if you can't enjoy the area?
I enjoy it. Totally understand that. So you said you were born in North Carolina. When did you move to Pennsylvania?
In sixth grade, I want to say.
Sixth grade.
So so a little while back. In the late '90s. I don't know.
So what made your parents move to Pennsylvania?
Both my parents are antique dealers. So my dad owned his own auction company.
Uh-huh.
We've had two auction houses. We've had uh, antique store. One point in time, like when I was really little, they owned a restaurant.
Oh wow.
So kind of a little bit of everything. So it runs in the blood.
Yeah, I was
But
just gonna say that.
so we used to travel. Our weekend trip from North Carolina used to be we would travel to 22nd Street in New York. So we would drive up there. When I was real little, I used to do Canton, Texas, um, Hillsville, Virginia, Brimfield, Massachusetts. So we would travel pretty much the whole circuit. So I
Yeah.
would miss about 40 days of school a year.
Wow.
And so I just bring schoolwork with me and
Mm.
take care of stuff, on the road. So that was kind of my lifestyle.
Did you miss school when you weren't in school?
Does anybody ever really miss school when they're not in school? I
Some
mean,
kids do. Some kids do.
like, I guess after I graduated, I missed school. Like, obviously simpler times. You come home to some like pizza pockets and some chicken nuggets that your mom makes,
Uh-huh.
and you have no responsibilities. So yeah, that's the great part of it. But no, I mean, I had lots of friends in school, so we would hang out afterward and stuff like that. As I got older, like school became more important.
Yeah. Now, when you were in your younger years while you were in school, were you on any kind of sports team or any kind of clubs in school?
I'm a short, fat guy, but I played I, I played basketball for 2 years. I played when I was in junior high and high school. I played indoor soccer, and then I played football for 2 years in high school.
Oh, nice.
So
Now, when you graduated, did you go on to college?
I did not. I actually I went to Votech for a while, and then I got a scholarship to go to Johnson& Wales. So I went for a year, and then out of
Oh,
2 years, I actually had a 2 year free ride. But I only went for 1 year because I had friends who own their own restaurants and things like that. And one of them actually moved to France to own a restaurant. And I would talk to him like, once a week, something like that. And it was just like some of the things that he would tell me, the hours he would put in for, I mean, obviously
yeah.
it was a lot about appearance for him. So he would, he drove a Porsche and he had nice things, but he was working, something like 110, 115 hours a week.
Hmm.
And at that point, you know, even at 19 and 20 years old, I was making as much money as him doing this.
Hmm.
And I can set my own hours. And, obviously through this, I've met, some amazing people, and it's like a treasure hunt to me. So I do this full time. I
It
don't even
sounds
cook
like.
at home. I
Mhm.
mean, my wife's a good cook. She cooks all the time and makes pastries and stuff. And
Ooh,
uh,
nice. Now, it sounds like you've traveled quite a lot.
I've been around a little bit, like not too much foreign, not too much international.
Hmm.
Um, I do San Diego Comic Con, New York Comic Con. I've done, I've probably been to most U.S. states with very few exceptions. I've, mean, I don't know if I've ever been to like Washington State,
Mm-hmm.
but I've been into the Minnesotas and the South Dakota, North Dakota for deals. We'll travel anywhere in the United States for a deal. I mean, I'll travel, Alaska, Hawaii, whatever. If the deal's good enough, I'll travel international if I have to. But haven't had one of those yet. So
So I heard that you said that you went to Johnson and Wales for cooking, which is in Providence, Rhode Island,
Mhm.
and that's only like 20 minutes away from me.
Oh, really?
So many people graduate from Johnson and Wales and
Oh,
become
the
amazing.
classes were huge, and it is like it's fun, but it's stressful.
It's very stressful. Yeah.
So it was just like, and the hard part for me is I know what things are supposed to taste like,
Hmm.
but I'm a very bland eater. Like I like American cuisine. I like the hamburgers, the hot dogs, the pizza, so you know, making creme brulee and stuff like that just, wasn't as I didn't have as much of a passion for it because I wasn't in love with that kind of food. I'd
Okay. Yeah.
I'd rather go to, the steakhouse and have a nice steak than I would like go to some fancy, 5-star restaurant.
Mhm. Now you said that your parents owned a restaurant. Did you
Mhm.
work in a restaurant as well?
No, no, no. When I was probably 4 or 5.
Oh, okay. So that was younger.
Yeah, yeah, that was very,
Okay.
very young off, and then they owned an antique shop, and then we had an auction gallery, and my parents had bought a church in Ramseur, North Carolina, and my dad had an auction gallery there for I think about 5 years, and then they sold that, and we moved up north because that's kind of the hub of all antiques and collectibles.
Right, right. So, um, would you say that's where you got a lot of your passion from what you do now was from, growing up with your parents in the
Yeah,
antique?
yeah. I mean, it's fun. Like when I was in school, I wanted to be an archaeologist. Like
Hmm.
we had a very good friend who was a friend of my parents, and his wife had left him, and he wound up committing suicide. And
So
he
sad.
was he like was a notarized archaeologist. He produced a couple books, and I remember as a kid like going out into a field with him and finding my first Kirk point like arrowhead, and he showed me like what to look for in the rock formations and stuff like that, and I was like, oh man, it's like a treasure hunt. Like you're gonna find like some kind of treasure, and then Antiques and Collectibles has that same draw to me.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
So, and now it's not all Antiques and Collectibles. It's kind of anything that we can make money on, we'll buy. But
Right? Right. Now, after you left high school, you said that you did a couple of things.
Mhm.
And when did you get married?
Which time?
The first time.
Oh, okay. So I
Well,
have
how many times have you been married?
twice,
Twice. Okay, so the first time.
and that's not counting, the work wife. But that's my real lives. Um, the first one I had to sacrifice a goat and speak in lizard tongue so that I could get married to her.
What? You kidding?
Yes.
I'm very gullible sometimes. Oh my God.
So yeah, the mother of my children. Look, I love her for being the mother of my children because I love my children. But
Mhm.
you know, let's just say that I could have chose better.
Okay. And that's okay because, we love them for being,
Yeah,
for
and
giving
to
us
this day, like
children.
if anything's ever wrong, like the kids call me and they'll tell me like hey, mom has this issue or mom has that issue, and I'm like, look, if she needs help, just she's welcome to ask because she's the mother of my children. I have no
Yeah.
animosity there, but
Yeah.
she hates me. Like she's that person who's like the only time I ever want to talk to your dad or hear from him is like when he dies, so I can have a party.
Oh God.
So yeah,
So how old are your children?
my son is 18. He'll be 19 this year, and my daughter is 20. She'll be 21 this year.
Oh wow.
And my adopted son is 14. Actually, he's 15 now. He just turned 15.
Oh,
March.
I didn't know you had an adopted son.
Yep, yep. That's my wife's biological son. So,
Your wife, and you adopted him.
hmm yep.
That's awesome. Very, very sweet.
He's a good kid. He's in ROTC. Wants to go in the military. I've coached his soccer for a few years, and he's on the soccer team now. And he's actually starting to coach, like third graders for
That's
soccer. So
awesome.
yeah, it's
Awesome.
good.
Now, your second wife, when did you marry your second wife?
So Kim, we've been married for, gosh, this one's going to be tough. I think we're going on 12 years.
Uh-huh.
So it's been a long time. I always get the confusion of being married and being together. So
Mhm.
I'm the typical guy. Like I don't remember any of that stuff. My wife has like, you know, our son's birthday tattooed on her ribs, and
Mhm.
then on the other side is our wedding date. So like if I start to forget, I just have to like wait until she's in the shower and I like look and I'm like, oh, okay, that's when it is.
Oh, honey, yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
That's
So wait. Pam
awesome.
said not 12 years. How long then, Pam? Oh wait, we've been married what, like, so I've been with Kim since Aiden was 2 and he's 15. So I've been with Kim for 13 years. So we've been married 8 years.
8 years.
That seems right, right? Pam will know.
Yeah, she does. See, your work wife knows everything.
That's absolutely true.
So tell me, um, would you have changed your childhood at all?
Um, Certain aspects of my childhood, like, obviously my dad wasn't a great father figure to start in my life. He's typical, like, Vietnam veteran, you know, March Marines,
Mm.
and he drank and smoked a lot. So, my first 10 years, 12 years were probably a little rougher, but I don't think I'd change anything because I really love what I do. And
Mhm.
I got to do things that like a lot of people in our field and our business are just now like, there's a new revitalization of people doing this and reselling.
Mhm.
So I've been doing this, since before cell phones and before computers
Right.
and all of those things. Like when you bought price guides in book form and had a big stack of them to learn. And so, I wouldn't change anything.
Nice. Now, what about your mom? How was it growing up with your mom? Was she
Oh,
the opposite of your dad?
it is like, so my mom is interesting. Uh, she is that typical like 4'3", like little Spitfire.
Aw.
That like when you do something wrong, she kicks you in the shins because she can't kick any higher. I'm just kidding. My mom's gonna watch this at some point. She, my mother is a Southern mother, so like when I did things wrong as a kid, like she would literally chase me down our driveway with like a switch, like a hickory switch. She would break it off the tree and like
Mhm.
whip my butt, and it was really good for me because I probably did some things that deserved it as a kid.
Do you have any
Probably do some
siblings?
things now that deserve it.
Right. Do you have any siblings?
I have a sister who is 11 years older than me.
Oh,
She
wow.
deals in vintage. She deals in costume jewelry and things like that. And she runs an antique co-op that's down here in South Carolina. And that's my only like blood sibling.
Blood sibling. Oh,
So,
wow. Nice. Now, I'm just going to touch really, really fast on this. I think a lot of people know that your dad just had surgery, heart surgery.
yep.
He had it on Wednesday, wasn't it Wednesday or Tuesday?
Wednesday morning. Yep.
Wednesday morning. And I just want to let everyone know, how did your dad make out?
He's fine actually. He was supposed to go in Wednesday night. They brought him in. Well, he actually was scheduled for Thursday. He had a ventricular tachycardia. So it's like a lower end heart attack uh,
Mhm.
on Saturday, and the ambulance came, got him, took him to the hospital. The VA is really, you know, I'm that person who's very like straightforward. Like, look, the VA is a joke. Um, they pretty much told his doctor, his heart surgeon, that like, well, we haven't authorized yet for him to get the work done. And his surgeon's like, look, he's here. He's in my hands. He's going to get it done, and you guys are going to pay for it one way or another. And
Mhm.
so to me, it's like for them to treat him the way that they do, I
Mhm.
feel really bad because my dad's like, he's in his 70s. My mom's older than he is, and his one hope is that you know he's worked on a lot of ships and he's had a lot of mental anguish. His
Yeah.
brother was murdered and stuff like that. He was around and they know who did it. He knows who did it. Stuff like that. He was pretty much a ruffian growing up, and just had a bad life. And my dad's trying to get full benefits because he knows he's going to not be with us a ton longer. He had his first heart attack like 25 years ago or 26 years ago, and they gave him 5 years to live. So now he's lived through that, and now his goal is that he gets like full benefits, because without full benefits they don't pass on to your spouse. So with full benefits they would pass on to her, and she wouldn't have to, she would have health care and things
Yeah.
like that. And so that's his biggest concern right now is being able to upgrade to full benefits instead of
Absolutely.
70%.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Sucks. The care for our veterans literally needs to change. Needs to change. Now, you said something about your uncle, your dad's brother, being killed. Can
mhm.
you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Just bar fight, and got stabbed and murdered. So yeah,
So, was that when your dad was younger?
yeah, way before my time, but
Way before your time.
I know that bothered him a lot of his life. And
Yeah.
obviously he's been in his share of fights. Like, he's got a flat spot on top of his head where he's hit with a tire iron.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So
Oh my goodness.
typical Southern, like, country boy alcoholic.
What nationality are you?
I'm a mutt. I'm a little bit of everything. Like, you can trace lineage. So back to, like, I have a little bit of Native American, like very little, like Cherokee.
Mhm.
And then I have Jefferson Davis on my side of the family, who was Confederate president.
Right.
And, but then I also have like Joseph Smith, the founder of like the Mormons.
Oh,
So like, and
wow.
then my mom is from England. So we kind of have a little bit of, you know, muttness in me.
Wow. That's
So
amazing. Have you done one of your, the tree, what do you
no,
call it? No, you haven't. No.
no,
That's pretty
it's,
amazing. Yeah.
it's never been a, like, obviously they've showed me, like, you know, our history as far as like how we're, related to this person or that person over a long period of time. But, it's one of those things that, like, if you trace everything back far enough, we're all related in some way or
We're
another.
all,
Like,
yeah.
we're all one person. We're all one people. It's not,
One thing that's been on my mind, and I need to tell you this, but from the beginning that I've
I
watched
have
you,
pasties on.
from the beginning of me watching you, and we're going back a couple of years now, I always thought Pam was your real wife. I did not know that you were not married to Pam. I always thought Pam was your wife. Not your work wife, but your wife.
Yeah, and a lot of people do.
Mhm.
And we are amazing friends, and she's a great woman. And there was a point in my life where it is very possible that I would have married her, but
Oh.
we are better friends. Uh,
Mhm.
so she is a truly amazing person. She's grown a lot in the gosh, I've known Pam since what? So I've probably known Pam over 20 years.
Really?
So yeah, something around that. Like, isn't that right, Pam? Like 20 years? Pam said she knew it was coming. Yeah.
So, how
So,
did you meet Pam?
a friend of mine was a DJ, and Pam was a bartender at the club that I used to go dance at.
Oh, okay.
So, and then we moved in together for a few years, and I think we were together for like 5 years or so, and and then she started working for me afterward. Well, actually, she worked with me the whole time, but
Mm-hmm.
I've taught her like a lot of things,
Yeah.
and now she's becoming her own force to be reckoned with, which is really
Yeah.
cool.
Really cool. Isn't that amazing to
Yeah,
see?
yeah,
Yeah.
she's really ruthless. I mean, really good.
Okay, now we're gonna get into a little more serious. Okay, I'm gonna ask you a serious question. What makes Brian? Who are you exactly?
I am a 18-year-old perverted boy in a 45-year-old man's body. Like, does that make sense?
18? I would say like 14, 15. Horny little boy.
No, I'm more perverted than horny. Like, to be honest, like, I'm at a point in my life, like, that all that stuff's great, and every man, wakes up and wants things, but I'm just as happy to get up on a Saturday morning and go yard selling and find a great deal. Like, just, very
I'm right
passionate
there.
about life in general. And
Mhm.
like I said, I have an amazing wife, and she's 11 years younger than me, so she's still growing, but she's a hairstylist, and she bakes amazingly, and you know, she's doing a really good job keeping the house, and she's, like I said, she's really good, and we have a couple dogs, and typical American family with the 2.5 kids, because my son's a little short, my adopted son.
Now, what kind of dogs do you have?
We have a French bulldog and a Boston Terrier.
Oh, wow. Just like Pam. Pam has the Boston Terriers, isn't it? Yeah.
I agree, Ronnie G. I'm lucky to have Pam as a sidekick.
Tell me when you have felt the biggest adrenaline rush.
Well, that one time that Pam brought that other girl over, no, I mean, not that. Um, I'm just kidding. That never happened. I just wanted to see if I could throw Susana off here. Um, it's always for buying a deal. I think there was a time I was at an auction that I had a piece in the auction. It was right after like Hurricane Katrina, and um, so they postponed the auction by a week, and it was a really high dollar item that I had bought it was a collection I bought, and I paid, a lot of money for the collection. I paid 75,000 for the collection, and I was at the auction, and I was just nervous as could be, because the poster is really rare, and I didn't know it. So it was something I didn't know. I'd actually offered it to somebody for $1,000, and they didn't take it. And so it was at the auction, and I'm talking to the auctioneer, and I'm like, I want you to drop the reserve. I don't want there to be a reserve. And he's like, no, 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 don't worry about it. He's like, we're gonna leave a $50,000 reserve on it. And I'm like, no, 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 it's my item. Drop the reserve, because we're missing a week. Your buyers who fly in from France and that aren't here, and I need to sell it. Like, I need
Uh-huh.
to pay off the debt. And he was like, no, 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 trust me. And I'm like, oh, and I was just like, I was furious that he wouldn't drop the reserve. And and so he's like, just trust me. And so, like, I'm sitting in the auction, and he's got like left bids, and we're at about 80,000 in left bids. And then somebody on the floor bid, 90,000, and then it was 100,000, and then it was 110,000. And then, like, the guy on the floor offered 115, and he wouldn't take it. He's like, my bid increments are my bid increments, and it's 120 is the next bid, or you're out. And the guy wouldn't push the 115 button, and he had another bidder on the phone, and so it sold for 110,000 plus buyer's premium. So that's probably my
Wow.
biggest adrenaline rush as far as antiques or collectibles go.
Wow. That's awesome.
So
Yeah, I can tell you that would be a huge adrenaline rush.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was an interesting auction. Like I had other pieces in the auction that did well. I mean, like I got $150,000 check from the auction, after their commission, and that was probably my biggest single score at any point in time so far.
That is so cool. Congratulations on that.
Thanks.
Yeah, congratulations.
Blew all that money like it was nothing.
Easy come, easy go.
Yep.
It was probably spent before you even had it.
I'm trying to see if Pam's yelling at me for anything.
I had a girlfriend. Brian. So when you're by yourself and you're just kind of like relaxing and you're sitting there, what do you think about? What do you do for you?
You really want me to say that on camera?
Sure.
Oh,
This
what,
is the
what do I
whispering
do? What do I do with myself when I'm alone?
to
Um,
relax, to what do you think about, or where do you go?
I love the ocean, so I like
Mm.
the ocean. I moved south because it was closer to the ocean. It's not the ocean I necessarily, am in love with. I love the blue water, Hawaii, California, but it is still the ocean. I grew up coming to Myrtle Beach as a kid, so this was kind of a nice choice because obviously my parents are getting older. They're down here, I have family around down here, so Kim can have people to talk to. But I love to fish. Like I like to go out fishing, and ultimately we'll buy a boat and do some things like that. But you know, I usually play video games still. Um, I play like Warzone on Call of Duty, and I play games on my phone and stuff like that. Little, I have obsessive compulsive disorder, so
Oh,
like if I play a game, like for instance, the game on my phone that I play a lot is called Top War, and I have a need to be like one of the best players. Like I used to play in my first marriage, like I was playing Counter Strike back at the time, and I literally would lay with my wife till she'd fall asleep, and then I'd get up and go play. And I was playing 15 to 16 hours a day.
whoa.
So and like competitively, like I was probably the third ranked in the United States, um, for just wasting time. It was such a big waste of time. Like even now, like I probably spend an hour and a half or 2 hours a day messing around on my phone on this game. And, in the back of my mind, I'm like, man, I could be selling something or I could be doing something, financially rewarding over wasting money on a game on my phone. But,
You
but
could be
it's,
streaming.
yeah, it's my muse. It's not my, it is, it's the bad thing that I have that, that I do, but it's my release from everything else is work related, like everything. My thought process, and you can ask Pam, if I'm not at work, I'm thinking about things about work or at work. So I'm very, obviously as a younger person, like we would go out to the clubs and go dancing and to the
Hmm.
bars and stuff like that. But I don't do much of that now. Like we'll go out to eat, we'll eat out a lot. And other than that, it's pretty much I look for deals. I'm looking for buildings. So, you know, everything's kind of work related.
Hmm.
Or I watch YouTube or I watch whatnot. Or,
So let me ask you, who has made the biggest impact in your life thus far,
my kids.
and
But
why?
just because like it gives you something else to strive for. So it's not like when you're young and you're in this, it's like, and you realize how much money you can make if you, put in 100 hours a week. You can make a lot of money doing this. Like you can drive around in a fancy, for me, like, I had a 67 Mustang as my first car. So like, a 69 Camaro convertible or something like that. I could go buy one tomorrow and work it off over the next year or 2 years and have it paid off.
Hmm.
But those things now are like, well, I could go buy 10 acres and I could put, two modulars at the end of those 10 acres and put my building in between them. And then if my kids ever needed a place to stay, they have one. Like there's two homes and some land and things like that if they need it. So those are probably my biggest impacts. And then, obviously all the people that I've met along the way, like, him, it's a great example of this.
Hmm.
Um, just a good person. And when we first met, she was a little impatient and a little bossy. And but now she's grown into her own, and she kind of sees what this business takes, and it's turned her into good at this business. She's still a little hesitant to make offers and try to negotiate deals, but she's getting there. And so she's great. And then my current wife is just like, after my first wife, I was very jaded with women in general. And you know but I love women, so it is what it is. I think women are beautiful, so it's like it's one of those things. But my wife now is just like, she's that woman who is like, if you get hurt and you need somebody to wipe your butt, I'm gonna be there.
Uh-huh.
That's very comforting.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
so
What
she's
kind of,
it's fun.
how would you describe yourself as a dad?
I'm probably I think I'm a good dad. I mean, I'd probably say you guys can ask Pam that in the chat. Like, she was around when my kids were very little. Uh, it's hard because they have a mother that's like, your dad's a complete loser. What he does isn't work, and he's never going to amount to anything. And now that they're older, they realize, like, wow, like, dad has always been like, you know, no problem with mom, not have no competition with her, nothing like that. And I don't let people affect me like that. Like, YouTube has a stigmata of, it's like high school. Like, there's cliques everywhere.
Hmm.
And you know I have friends in the community who don't like other friends that I have in the community, and I'm very much straightforward with everybody. It's like, I'm going to get along with everybody that I can.
Hmm.
If they do something wrong to me, then I'll deal with that. But until that point, what one friend's opinion of another friend is doesn't matter to me. Uh, this is a business to me, and it's a great community, and I love teaching because I like seeing people grow and their businesses grow, because it's symbiotic. Like, if you do auctions like I do, and that if we sell you a deal and you go and triple your money on that deal, you have 3 times the amount of money you spent to come back and buy more stuff. So it's
Yeah,
good business. It's not just like, everybody's like, oh, well, nobody wants to see other people grow. That it's all competition. That's not true. If
right.
your customers grow, even though they do ultimately become competition, and they're still buying from you, it's fine. Like,
That's right.
you want them to have money. You want them to see that, like, what they get from you is profitable, and that's really important. It's something that I really enjoy with this.
That's awesome. That really is.
So, but as far as the dad goes, I'm good. Like, I mean, you know, I'm not that dad who, when my kids were little, whoop that ass. I know we're in a culture of like, don't spank your children, don't do this, don't, you have to do what politics tells you to do. And
Hmm.
I'm never going to be that way. I'm going to, I've had people leave my channel because of my adult humor or things like that. And simply put, like, I'm not going to change who I am
That's right.
to accommodate having one more subscriber or two more subscribers. If they don't like me for who I am, then I don't want them as a subscriber.
Hmm.
Like, I'm hoping that they come to the channel, they laugh a little bit, they get away from reality for a little while, and they learn something. If it helps their business, even if if they look at something that we sell and it brings $200, and they're out at a yard sale a year from now and they see that same item for $5, I just help them make $195, and that's good,
Right. That's
because
good.
they'll remember where they learned
At, exactly. Exactly. Now, what kind of husband do you think you are?
it.
Here comes a snide remark, guys.
Uh, I am probably a good husband. I mean, I'm probably not the perfect husband. Uh, I've never cheated. I've never, I don't drink belligerently. I'll have a beer with a steak or something like that. But if I drink 5 beers in a month, unless I'm going out like to the club or something like that with friends, it'd be surprising. And I'm I want to make sure the bills are paid. I want her opinion. I let her buy pretty much anything that she wants as far as if it's for the house. I'm not real big on like hey, Aiden wants a muscle car for his first car, and you're going to go out and buy it. No, no, I'm not. You're going to go get a job, and you'll pay for half of it, and we'll buy you a used car for your first car, and I'll pay half, and you'll pay half, and you're responsible for all the bills. If you can't pay them, then you're crossing the parking lot.
Mhm.
I very much believe in I want his room cleaned up. I want the house, relatively clean. I don't make a lot of mess. Like if the drink that I have in front of me, like once I'm done drinking that, I'll rinse the cup out and I'll use that cup all day long. I'll just keep rinsing it out and cleaning it. Um, but I try not to make more work for her. I'm sure I'm enough of a handful without like cleaning up after me. So,
Now, how would your best friend describe you to someone else that did not know you? What do you think that they would say?
mm, I'm pretty loyal. So I'm as much as I can be a jerk, and I can be. Uh, I don't ever deny anything. Uh, but I would go to the ends of the earth for the right people. But you have to be the right people. Like it's not, you
Mhm.
don't instantly step into somebody's life and like, oh, you're my new best friend. Like, no, you've got to really put in the time and the effort and be there kind of all the way around. You know, they're really rare to have,
Yeah.
best friends. So you got to
Yeah.
be willing to do whatever it takes for them. Uh, Hopefully they are for you.
Would you say a lot of your humor is kind of like of a defense when you get a little nervous, your humor comes out?
No, I mean, like I don't. The defense that I have, I'm not nervous about anything. Like there's nothing that's kind of off limits.
Hmm.
I mean, so I will use humor to answer a question more so than directness because I feel like as a society, like if you turn on the news, it's bad news. It's you don't turn on the news and hear about like this great thing happened. You turn on the news and it's like, oh, this is another disaster. Oh, this is bad. Oh, this is, the economy's going to hell. You know, it's always negative. And
Yeah.
and the reason for that is what sells newspapers, negative things, because we're wired to protect ourselves and pay more attention to things that are negative because they potentially could harm us.
Hmm.
It's a defense mechanism. So for me, nothing's off limits. Like, somebody could walk up to me tomorrow and be like, hey, I don't like you, and I'm like, okay, you know piss off. Like, yeah.
Yeah. What is one belief that you believe in that you think others would not believe? Don't have the same belief.
I don't think I have beliefs that other people. I think all people have beliefs, and how strongly they believe maybe be different. But like, I believe in karma, like tremendously.
Hmm.
I believe that if you're a genuinely good person, so I have horrible luck. Like I love to play poker, casino, and stuff like that,
Hmm.
but I have the worst luck, and Pam will attest to this. Like, just got a new car, somebody's already scraped the back of it. The transmission already went out. The day after I bought my house, the air conditioning went out, and it's an $11,000 fix. But I have enough. I believe that it's. I'm not super super religious, but I believe that God doesn't put challenges in front of us that we can't deal with.
Right.
Like, so I deal with these things, and I'm upset about them for a few hours or a day, but being angry about something or about something somebody says for 8 months or a year or 10 years is a waste of energy. It is just,
Hmm.
you could do so much more with your time. And I believe doing the right thing is its own reward. So like, you want to help people that are worth helping. Like there's a lot of people out here who self-sabotage themselves, and they just, you know, like hey, can you give me money so I can go buy meth? No, I'm not going to give you money so you can buy meth.
Hmm.
Like, you know, you've got your kid with you begging for money so that people give you money so you can go do something stupid like that. Like, hey, look, I'll tell you what, I'll meet you over at the diner and I'll buy your kid something to eat.
Hmm.
You know, no
Right.
problem. But other than that, like, no, I believe in karma, and my mom believes in aliens and all that other stuff, and obviously I believe that we're not alone in the universe.
Mhm.
So, but I think that now's our time. Like, this is, people want to live forever, and if you did, you get bored.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
you have to appreciate what you get and when you get it.
So, what motivates you?
Um, well, if you ask Pam this, she's going to say for the last 5 months, nothing. Uh, but it's like, I was just in the middle of trying to do a deal where somebody was going to buy my entire eBay inventory, and they flew up here. I spent a day with them. Like, we broke open the books. They looked at exactly how much money I've made over the last 3 years every year. They broke down into by category of what we sell. I was able to find a way that I could have given them all of my eBay listings, which is like 181,000 listings, and I found a way to give them to them. And you know, in my mind, I was like, hey, I gave them a price of, like, I think it's about, if you look at our numbers on eBay, it's maybe like $6.5 million in retail. So I priced it out to them for like, I have it on eBay for like 800,000. I said $600,000, like a little bit less than 10 cents on the dollar. We'll transfer all the listings to you. So within a month, you'll have 181,000 listings. You'll be making six figures a year. All the work's already done. All of our organization's done. We don't lose much stuff. Very, very rarely. I think we've lost 5 items in the last year to 2 years out of that many listings. We ship hundreds of items a week. And, for me, it's like, the motivation is like, if I'd have sold that deal, I would have paid off my house, because then if
Mhm.
the economy goes bad, my house is paid off. Like, what do, I would lessen my bills. I would pay off my wife's student loans. I'd pay off, our cars. I'd pay off our debt, and then I would buy a building. I'm looking for a building down here, and
Mhm.
so that I can move all the merchandise that's in Pennsylvania down here, and you know, free up
So,
Pam's life.
I was just going to say, so you're wanting to move your whole business from PA down to South Carolina.
Ultimately, yeah.
Now, you had said something that you had over 100,000 listings. Okay,
Yep.
yeah. And people are saying that I'm in shock. Yeah, I'm in shock because who does that work? It can't be just you and
Well,
Pam.
it's sure not Pam. Um, so listers, like, obviously I've done, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 listings myself. I
Hmm.
usually will, I usually buy bulk of items, like a group of a certain type of item. Um, I'm trying to think of something that kind of everybody knows. So like, if you went to a store and you bought 10,000 pieces of Ray and Dunn pottery, we'll use a Pam
Hmm.
example here, and you bought 10,000 pieces of Ray and Dunn, you could put all of the mugs in one section, all of the plates in another section, and you could hire somebody to literally, you create one listing for a mug, and all they have to do is change the title and the pictures, and you could plow through those really quickly. So at one time I had like 5 people listing items for me, and then um, we cut down to like 3 for a long, long period of time, and then we just let go our last one about 3 months ago.
Wow.
So, you know,
Wow.
and
Yeah,
Pam's the axe lady.
she's the one that does this.
Yeah.
Move it.
No, she actually lets me do all that stuff. Um, but yeah, no, I mean, like we've had office managers and stuff like that, which is what Pam's position is now. And it's been, it's been really good. And, obviously I did other auctions before YouTube, before I ever
Mhm.
considered opening a YouTube channel. I was doing auctions on Facebook, and then T and Donna and everybody, helped me get some auctions rolling. We were talking about like the YouTube channels, me and Tommy Bernard and people like that. We talked about those things for a long time before I actually stepped in and did them, because I wanted to have 1,000 subscribers before I tried to start auctions. And so I probably waited 8 months to a year longer than I should have to do that.
Mhm.
But it's been a blessing. Like, I mean, it's fun. Like, I don't have to. Yes, do I get the final value on everything? No. Sometimes we sell things for more. Like, and there's a little hint for everybody's watching. Sometimes we'll sell something that I have 100 of, and maybe I have it on eBay, and maybe I have it on at $35, but people get caught up in auction fever, and it brings $45 because they really want one, and they want the one that they see on the screen,
Yeah.
so they know the exact condition. And sometimes I'll tell people like, hey, I have 100 of these. Like, let's roll it back to what I sell it for online, and we'll sell it to you, and we'll sell it to the underbidder. And we've kind of got away from that now, so we're not listing nearly as much, and everything's kind of coming to auction.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of things that, like, we just started doing whatnot auctions. Like, I do those from down here, and I've sold a ton of figures. We start them at $1 with no reserve, and they're $80 figures, and they're selling for $8 or $9. But I can sell 40 or 50 of them in an hour. So
Right.
the take home is, you're making $400 or $500 an hour in pay on stuff that's just sitting in a warehouse or whatnot. I have numbers that that I've publicly told people, like, hey, show up to my warehouse tomorrow with $1 million in a bag, and you'll own everything I own. Like,
Mhm.
all the merchandise in both warehouses, all the eBay inventory. And I look at it like, I probably have 3 million items. So if I'm willing to sell them at 30 cents a piece, if somebody buys them all, why should I be upset if I sell something for $2? So I'm not. Like, we just, we just do it in bigger lots now, so that the numbers, so that the numbers look better at the end of the day.
So, what is the craziest thing you've ever done?
Um, Other than, like, you know, showing up at one of Pam's parties with, like, a jack-o'-lantern painted on my belly, and drinking too much and rubbing it off on their floor.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, not business related. Not business related. What
that's
is it?
that's not business related.
No, I know. I'm saying don't go into business. I want to know not business related.
Well, probably things like that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure I've been streaking at some point in my life. I've stole a police car. Uh,
What?
it, yeah,
Did you go
I,
to jail?
no,
Did you
no.
get caught?
Kind of.
What happened? Oh my goodness, I want to know.
So so we used to have a officer that kind of knew everybody in the town I was, in the town I grew up in high school. And, heavier set police officer. And, you know, kind of, I'm trying to think of that. Like, if you can imagine, like, Paul Blart as a police officer and not a mall security guard,
Hmm.
that was this guy. And so someone bet me at one point in time that I wouldn't move his car. Uh, and he used to go up to the pizza place in our town, and he would just leave his car with his windows down and running out in the parking lot, which is, it's against police protocol, or
Right.
at least it was. And so I moved his car from the parking lot when he was in the bathroom down like 3 blocks down the road and just parked it
Mm.
next to the road. And obviously, I got a stern talking to, and we kind of agreed that I wouldn't tell his captain that he constantly left the keys in the car and the car running with the doors open and his sidearms and stuff like that in the car, and I wouldn't go to jail.
That's so funny.
So, but I was 17 years old.
You're a prankster. You didn't mean
I was.
anything bad by it. That's it.
Yeah, I was. It was just
That is
something
so
fun to do.
cool. Now, did you ever drink so much and you woke up somewhere that you had no clue where you were?
Um, no,
No.
I've never woke up with anyone that I didn't know I went to sleep with, and I have maybe twice in my life drank out of anger and regretted it the next day. I remember when I used to go to Renninger's in Adamstown to the flea market, and probably the most dangerous thing I ever did was I went one night and I probably drank 15 or 16 Long Island iced teas in a matter of an hour, hour and a half, and a few beers and some shots. And then I drove to the flea market for Sunday morning. So it was on a Saturday night. That's about 15 miles away from the club that I was going to. And I remember I drove, literally, I had my door open so I could throw up. And I was watching the yellow line on the road at 3 a.m. in the morning to drive to the flea market. But I drove so many times that, like, you don't even think about driving. Like, your directions are there. But part of the time I was driving 5 miles an hour with my head out the door and doing something really stupid and dangerous. And that was probably the worst time I could ever say that I've done anything like that.
Now, you said something key. You drank out of anger. What was the anger about?
Um, just a putting trust in the wrong relationship. We'll say it that way with my ex-wife. So
Okay. Okay. Wow. Hello.
yeah. So
Oof.
that's only, like, because obviously my dad was an alcoholic. I kind of stayed away from that too much. I don't think I've ever, like, drank too much, right, Pam? Like, I don't think I've ever been like a real big alcohol drinker. Like, even though when we go out to the clubs, like, I'll drink.
Yeah.
I like Long Island iced teas, and I like Yukon Jack, and I like harder drinks, and then I drink Corona. So, uh,
Mhm.
but for the most part, I drink very very little, just because I grew up knowing what it could cause and what the effects could be.
Yeah.
So, but I find it hilarious when other people are drunk around me.
Mm.
Like Kim, when she got drunk one time, like, she tried to do a handstand, fell on her face, you know, threw up all over the floor. Didn't remember us taking her back to the bedroom and changing her clothes. I mean, like, it was the greatest moment. It was so funny.
But that's like fun drunk, that's
Yeah,
not.
yeah, it's at home, like, people
Exactly.
around you that can take care of you and stuff like that.
Yeah. Tell me about a hope of yours. What do you hope for?
Um, what do I hope for? It's a good question. I think ultimately, like, I want to get a building, and I hope I can do those things, and hope I can progress business and things like that, and that I can. My daughter bought a horse, so, like, she rides horses, and I I hope that I get to see them a little more often, even though we're farther away now.
Hmm.
But I hope that they become good people. Like, it's just, if I could hope for something, it's that.
Yeah.
So
Well,
sorry, it's not the fun, like, Brian jokes, but
God, no. That's you. That's you, and that's
yeah,
what I want. Is I want you. I want to know what's in your
I'm
heart.
married. Sorry.
It's okay, Brian. I'm gay.
Oh well, makes a better video though. Hang
Tell me about a dream of yours.
on. Gosh, Megan Fox. from the first Transformers movie.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, that's you asked, so I was giving that answer. You
Are
know,
you
obviously, I always have the excitement of like going out and finding some crazy. Like I've had dreams of like walking into some house and finding like you know not necessarily the Holy Grail, but you know a $10 million collection of sports cards or comic books or something like that. Like
mm-hmm.
uh, those are the things that keep you going like all the time. Like it's very rare that you get those. Um, Happens maybe once every, in my experience, like once every 5 years, you'll get a really, really good, buy yourself a new car hit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you know, you always have that dream of like, the major score, or like
Right.
the thing that you know you look at like people's collections who came up at Sotheby's and whatnot of like sports memorabilia. Well,
Mm-hmm.
there's going to be guides out there for 100 years that mention that person that had the foresight to put together a great collection and get recognized for it for a long time. So
Mm-hmm.
it leaves a legacy. So for me, it's I'd like to leave something. I'd love for my kids to actually like understand that this is work. And like my oldest son, kind of does. He sees that like, hey, you're getting up at 4 a.m. in the morning to go to yard sales or to the flea market that's an hour and a half away, and you're tired by the time you come home. But then you pack and ship orders, or then you make a YouTube video of what you bought, or you do So work plays a lot into it. So just hopefully they see that not everything that they were taught when they were very little was necessarily the truth.
True. Are you a confrontational person?
No,
No.
no.
You're kind of easygoing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I believe that people that get upset about things that you can't control, politics. You know, Look, yes, we have some vote or some say, but after the fact, to spend the next 4 years of your life in misery because you what you wanted to happen didn't happen is is ridiculous, because that 4 years of life is really important.
Mm-hmm.
So I just believe that like, hey, look, things happen for a reason. I believe everybody has a time. uh, when it's my time to go, it's my time to go. Like, don't, I'm not going to walk around, or I'm not going to drive 30 miles an hour so that I don't get into a car accident, because it may not be me. It may be somebody driving 100 miles an hour that hits me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to enjoy life, as life comes at me.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is. Things that happen, and you just have to move on past them and you know, keep growing, and find something better for the day.
Yeah. What is your strangest habit?
Hmm. Probably video games. You know, I'm a 45-year-old guy. I play video games. So, you know, that's probably my strangest habit per se.
Mm. Do you find yourself like in years to come, say when you're like 70 or 80, still playing
Yeah,
your game? You
yeah,
do.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, like it's one of those things that like I have, you know, I have ADD and ADHD. So for me, I constantly have to have something going on, or my mind goes back to business. So I'm very like, what can I do to make my business better? Where can I find a building? Why can't I find it fast enough? Like, I'm down here now, and we're hoping that like we want to build a fence. And, my wife wants me to put up. I just put 2 stakes in the ground this morning. We're gonna build a little netting around so that we can take our turtle outside to let it have the sun for the day, and things like that. And I'm not super happy, not at all. Uh, and but we got down here. We've been down here since October 1st. We moved into the house, and I feel like I haven't done enough. Like I feel like we should already have the new windows on the house. Like the house has been repainted. We put in a new air conditioning unit. We both got new cars since then. So that's a lot for somebody to do in 6 months. And in my mind, I'm like, man, we really need to put thermopane windows in, and we really need to,
Hmm.
maybe expand the garage, and maybe, and it's like those things just don't happen fast enough for me. So I need them to happen faster. So like our fence, they said they won't get around to doing it until July,
Yeah.
maybe August because of the supply chains. And I want a fence because we have little dogs and there's coyotes out here. And my French bulldog will chase one, and ultimately she's going to get eaten. She thinks she's a 400-pound, wolf or something. Like,
And you keep talking about the dogs, but what about the cat that keeps walking by in the back of you right there on your show, on your the thing? Like the cat's head just keeps popping out.
you're crazier than I am.
No, I'm serious. You don't have a cat?
Okay.
It's right behind you. I'm serious. It's right there. Brian, look, it's in between the white cover and the seat. Turn around. Look at it.
Where? There's not
April,
a
April Fools.
yeah, like where? There's no cat.
It's an April Fool's joke. Today is April Fool's.
Uh,
I
I thought
didn't get you.
I thought you were very, very serious because I've heard through the grapevine things about you. So I figured maybe you were seeing something. Maybe some of those medications were, and I was wondering when you're going to share.
Get out of here. It was an epic fail, Anna. Yes, it was. Shit. Brian, finish
But
the sentence. I wish I could.
be a little bit taller, be a baller, shot caller. I wish I could see another 45 years and have a good time doing it.
My saddest time in my life was
I went pee one time and I think I got it caught in the zipper. And
uh,
my saddest time in my life was so obviously any loss of a pet is really tough on me because I grow a really big attachment to the dogs and stuff like that a lot of times. But I think probably my saddest time was um,
your wife ran you over?
my ex-wife
Oh,
twice. Yes, hit me with the car twice.
oh shit.
Um, Probably like when my kids, like especially my son Cody, like when he went to Wisconsin, like I drove him out there, and we got him a 2-bedroom apartment. Made sure the area was really good, and I helped him go get furniture for it, helped him set everything up. And I think the hardest thing is like when you see him get really, really emotional because he's a very emotional child. Um, and he's 6 foot, 6'1", 250, 260 pounds, a big boy.
Mhm.
And so I think probably the saddest moment is like, whenever he leaves because he's really upset. It just tells me how much he misses being around, and how much he didn't appreciate how hard it was until now that he's on his own.
Yeah.
So
Sounds like you have a great relationship with your son
yeah, my son and my daughter are both,
and your daughter.
I couldn't ask for better. Like, my daughter's still doing the the 20-year-old thing that you do, like when you ride horses and you go out with your friends and drink
Mhm.
and stuff like that. But
Is
um,
she daddy's little girl?
no,
No.
No, she is like, I mean, like, yes and no. Like, she loves me, and she's. I'm the one who helped her get into horseback riding. Her mom's like, that's a waste of your life, and it'll never pay, and you're wasting money. You could be doing better things, and but it makes her happy. So that's all that I cared about. And
Yeah.
but there's been times that she's like, look, I'm more like mom than I'll ever be like you, and you just have to deal with it. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, hope that you grow out of that.
Hey, well, they come into their own. You know that.
Yeah. So they're I think my son has got to the point where like he doesn't even talk to his mom.
Mm, yeah.
So
I'm most proud of.
being as healthy as I am with the foods I eat.
Whoa. And what kind? I mean, I know you were saying that you liked your hot dogs, your hamburgers, your pizza,
Yep.
and stuff like that. So, um,
My
that.
wife my wife hates it. Like she's you know she's 11 years younger than me. She's
Mhm.
34, and like she gets high blood pressure. She gets anxiety. She gets depression. She gets like all of those things, and like her heart rate and stuff like that. And then she's like, well, if you ever got checked out, you would see that you have issues too. So like at one point I we got checked out with her, and they're like, no, his numbers are perfect. His numbers are great. They're like, if he was 25, and she's like, how can that be? He eats nothing but garbage food and no vegetables, and like I just don't understand. And I'm just not stressed out about things. And I think stress kills people. I just
Stress. You hit on a subject right there of stress. I do believe that too,
Yeah,
Ryan. Yeah, it's major, major.
it catches up to you. Yeah, I'm sure. I've started taking vitamins now that I didn't used to do.
Hmm.
Um, so you know, other than that, like I, I'm I looked at it, and I used to tell everybody I'd rather live 5 years less and enjoy what
Enjoy.
I want to eat than live 5 years longer and have somebody change in my diaper.
Haven't heard it put that way. It's very, very something to think about, but that's true.
And,
It's
and and my diapers that I'm wearing right now have Muppet Babies on them, so it's perfectly fine. Yeah,
oh,
so
that's so cute.
I know happens. My
We're
underoos.
gonna I'm gonna wrap this up and then I'm gonna
Okay,
open up into the chat. If anyone has any
sure.
questions, please put it in the chat and I will ask him. Um, but my last question to you is, what can you leave us with? What, not just us, but in life in general? What would be your
Oh, okay.
what would be
Thought
your
you I thought you meant like something that you need penicillin to fix. Um, you mean in life or in business related?
life?
Um, I believe this is our test. Like, what we do with today and what we do every day, that we're on earth is our test. Um, if we're good people, we'll either get another chance. If we're not good people, maybe we'll get another chance. But I think that like life is very much, you know, uh, you should enjoy today. Like do something that's for you or for somebody you care about today. Like don't wait until tomorrow. Like
You know,
say you appreciate the people who you should like. You'll always hear in interviews or whatever that like I give Pam props. Like, she's doing work. Obviously, she's a paid employee, and I give my wife a million times credit because I could never deal with me. So I, the fact that she deals with me as much as she does, she's an amazing woman.
that's what I was going to ask you too. Was if you had to deal with a person like yourself, how would you deal with them?
I probably would drink a lot more. Actually, I probably would befriend myself because Pam's husband, for example, David, him and I joke very similar. We probably have really similar, similar attitude. Well, he's a little more hot-headed than I am, but you know, and he's got that like that steady job that like he goes to and he works at, and he goes to the gym and he works out. He's got that, and I believe like having people around me that would be similar to me, um, that just have drive. Like I want to see ambition in people. Like it's really sad nowadays. Like you talk to kids, they're like, oh, I'll go get another job at McDonald's and earn enough to pay for gas for 2 weeks and then I'll quit.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Like
Why?
oh, because the government's going to give you a check. You know, it's crazy to me that kids don't want to work
Right.
and don't want to make something of themselves, and then their parents go and buy them like down here there's all these kids that have like new Ford F-150s and new Silverados and stuff like that. And I'm like, Aiden, what's your friends do for like what job do they have? Oh, they don't. Their parents bought it for them. I'm like, why? Like it doesn't teach them anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, don't think that your dad's buying you a car because you're paying half and you have a limit and you're going to get a job to do it. Like, because you're going to learn how to be able to be a productive human being. And,
Yep.
You're going to learn the value of doing things for yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's
So,
very important. Very,
like,
very
I try
important.
not to go in this room because I freak out about it. Like, I'm like, I told you, like, for me to pay your cell phone bill, this room stays clean. You do dishes 3 times a week. You're helping your mom when she asks you without mouth. And,
Yeah.
like, those are the things I want. Like, I kind of demand those things around me.
I think most kids right now, when they're growing up and they're getting that they're like, oh, it's so hard and this and that, but you're actually setting them up for um, success in life, you know? All right, so I am going to look at the chat
Okay.
and I'm going to see if
Let's
we
have
have
questions.
any questions. Put some questions in. Do you have a place that you need to go to, or are you
Not yet.
not yet? So
No.
we have some time, guys. Just looking down. I know that there was some people that came in, like my Eric. Mwah,
Hi, Eric.
hello, my sexy Eric. How are you? And Bobby came in. Mwah, Bobby.
But when she talked to you, Eric, she didn't go like this, like she did with Pam.
Eric. Who else? I know Johnny, Cajun Roots Reseller, came in. Hey, Johnny, if you're still here, thank you for coming in. Toochman was here. Thank you for coming in. Ronnie G, Eric. Let's see. Did I miss anything here?
Hi, Annie.
Annie's here, my Annie Oakley. Let's see. That's because I'm a girlfriend.
Yeah, that you went like this.
Is there any questions, guys? I need, because then we're going to go. So if there's a question that I did not ask and you guys want to know, here's your time.
I have been very behaved.
Did Brian behave? I know you were concerned. He did. He was amazing.
Yep. I didn't come in female clothes. I didn't come in a kilt.
No
I didn't.
pasties.
Well, you don't know that.
Oh, I don't. That's right.
But I
Oh,
got
now,
pants on over top of it. It's fine.
now I
I
have,
like the way they make me feel.
yeah, but now it's leaving something to my imagination.
See,
Uh,
no, I was actually really good. Like, I expected a lot of questions that were not asked, so I'm okay with that. And
anything? Did you ever go to jail?
no,
No. Were you ever into drugs?
no,
Have you ever been with a prostitute?
depends on how you define prostitute.
Someone you paid for sex?
Um, every woman I've ever been with.
See how we twisted that one? I like that.
Yeah,
Um,
I buy drinks and like obviously dinners and stuff like that. So if you base it off of pay, then sure. But if you base it off of like have I ever went and picked up a streetwalker? No.
JJ, of course, needs to bring in some, what is one item that you have sold that you regret selling?
Um, hmm, Nothing. No regrets. Nothing I've ever sold do I regret selling. I mean, obviously my '67 Mustang would have been nice to have now,
Mm.
but I don't, regret it because everything that I've done up to this point has led me to this point. And, it's what it's supposed to be. It's like it is where I'm at because of all of the decisions I made. So no, I can't say there's anything I've ever sold. Like, have I sold things cheaper than I wish they would have went? Sure. But at the end
Hmm.
of the day, just go out and buy something else. There's plenty of stuff out here.
Right, right. Um,
Okay.
is that Kim?
That is Kim.
Can we see Kim?
Can you see Kim? Kim, do you want to be on camera? Come on, come show your blue hair. Okay. She's making her coffee, then she'll be right here. She's making. Wait, what is this? His underwear comment.
Maybe that you sold your underwear
Wait, what is the FU Brian for? What did I do?
because you said you paid for sex.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but that's like you pay for dinners and you pay for, you buy them cars and you buy them, give them a nice life and things like that. Like,
So, what did you learn? What is the one thing that you learned as a child that you still hold strong to today? Janine wants to know.
So my mom is the one who was like, when it's your time, it's your time. So don't be afraid to do things. And it's I was always taught that like if you're going to do something wrong, be prepared that there's going to be consequences and know that you're doing it and that there are consequences if you get caught. So, face up to it if you get caught. So it's more like do the right thing. It's just, I've always wanted to be the better person in most confrontations and conflicts because it just doesn't make sense to, you know, to be angry or upset about things for really long periods of time.
No, it really isn't. Really isn't. Because you know why? I think the other person just goes about their day and doesn't even think twice about it. And
Yep.
you have to sit there and hold all that anguish and the stress.
Come here, honey.
I've got a part in my face. One, it's not that pretty. And two, I didn't feel good this morning.
Oh, hi, Kim.
Hi.
How are you, honey? You're beautiful.
Thank you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
You should
I
see the
just
back
want
of
to
her head.
say,
It's amazing.
congratulations that you must have patience of a saint.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely getting into heaven one day dealing with this one
You
just
are.
by itself.
Those gates are wide
That's because
open.
I'm friends with him. So of course you can come visit.
Come here, Willow.
Let's see. Any questions from the
Come
chat?
here, doggy. Doggy.
Oh, and what's his name?
Mommy.
Willow. Her name's Willow, yeah.
Oh, her name, Willow.
Yep.
Willow. Hi, baby. Hello. Do you want to go
loves
out?
attention.
You want to go out? You want cheese? You want some cheese? My dog, I would say cheese, and she would just go, hmm?
If you say like burger or treat,
Or if you bring home a bag from McDonald's.
they know what it is because he always gets them a plain hamburger. And the other day, I made the mistake of not getting them a hamburger.
You're a horrible person. See, you ain't going to heaven. I don't care how much you wipe my butt.
Well, it's so nice to have you here.
Yeah, it's nice to be here.
I don't think I've ever, yeah, I've never seen you.
No, I usually try like not to be on camera. I'm camera shy. I don't
You don't
like
have a
to,
fans only site?
and I just don't have a lot of self-confidence. So it's hard for me
Oh
to
my
actually
God.
show my face
But
on
she's got a great
camera.
rack. It's amazing.
She's beautiful. And you make a beautiful couple.
Thank you.
Ah, let's see. What is people saying in the chat? Oh, good hard slap. Guys, any
Wait,
more
who's
questions?
slapping who?
I think
I think when I went like this.
No. Somebody said Pam. Good hard slap Pam. I'm just volunteering. If there's spankings going around, I'm volunteering.
no, I think Ronnie wanted to slap someone, and Eric said he could slap her. She could slap Eric. So there's a lot of slapping going around.
Yeah, Pam said he likes it. Yep.
Yeah.
Hi,
Well,
Janine. Hi, everybody.
Oh, Ronnie wants to slap my ex-wife. You probably would have to get in line because
I'm first.
yeah,
No offense,
and I'm
but
sure Pam would probably be second.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, anybody who's ever met my kids, my mom would probably be third. Smack her in the knee or something.
aw.
Get your mom short.
He was saying,
Like chicken winner.
Yeah.
Ronnie wants to slap your ex-wife. Can you slap Ronnie? Everybody's slapping everybody.
Oh yeah. Wait. You're supposed to slap me.
No. When I slap you, I go like that.
Oh, slap upside the back of the head.
Mm-hmm. I do very gently though, but he knows.
Yeah, unless I call her by her sister's name, then she gets mad.
He has never done that.
But that's still alive.
Yeah, you see that? He's still sitting here.
Kim, what is one thing that really annoys you that he does?
What's one thing that annoys me that he does?
Yeah.
Oh my God. How about listing stuff that doesn't annoy me? No, I'm just kidding. I would have to say when he asks my opinion on something and I give it truthfully, and then he like just does whatever he wants anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a giving person because I'm letting you give me your opinion.
Like
Yeah, you hear that? Yeah, you hear that? Yeah, because there's plenty of times he's like, should I buy this deal? Shouldn't I? I was like, maybe we really shouldn't right now. And he just he already knows he's gonna buy it. So that's what drives me nuts. I'm like, if you know that you're gonna buy it, why even ask me?
And so I get this is a double-edged sword breaker. So if I don't ask and I go buy a $30,000 deal or a $20,000 deal, then I'm in trouble because I didn't ask. If I ask and I don't like the answer and I go buy it anyway, then I'm in trouble because I asked and I didn't listen to her answer.
He's very much don't ask permission, ask for forgiveness type of person. Yeah, he is.
That's how you get in the back.
Mm-hmm.
So does it work the other way around as well?
Like, do I ask him like my? No.
Like, you really don't?
No, I don't. No. The only time, let's see. If he said no, I couldn't have a dog, I'd buy it anyway.
No, you did not.
I did not buy a dog recently, no.
Right.
I'm just saying, if all the check boxes were met and I wanted to get a dog and you came up with an excuse as why I can't have one.
Yeah, that's never worked. I come home and they're here.
See?
She doesn't ask because she knows the answer. I don't know the answer when I ask her. Because sometimes she'll say yes to things that I think she's going to say no to. So I still ask. She knows I'm going to say no to another dog because I just don't feel like that the timing's right or that we can give it enough attention or that she's willing to put in the work it takes to house train it or whatnot. So, So she just shows up with it. And it's kind of like, okay, well, I'm going to my mom's for a
Like
week.
right now, our deal is that we are going to wait for a fence to be put up.
Yep.
Because we want the dogs to be able to go
To be safe.
outside and run around and be safe, because there are wolves, there's
Coyotes.
there's bears, just a lot of like wild animals that you wouldn't want to come in across your pet.
And the little one that you just saw will go after it. Like the next door neighbors have about 100 pounds.
Oh, he's probably more than 100 pounds. He's a big boy. He's a boxer lab mix.
And she goes after him. Like,
yeah.
Like she tries to attack him.
Yeah.
So Kim, let me ask you this. How does it feel moving down to South Carolina? Are you happy, or do you wish you were still in PA?
I am. It took me a while to get adjusted, and I'm still getting adjusted, but I've been back up. Hi, Willow. I've been back up to PA a couple of times, and now I'm like, okay, like, you know, I feel like there's more pros now to being down in South Carolina than there were being in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's called 70-degree weather when they got 20-degree weather.
You know, don't get me wrong. Like, I do, you know, miss my family. You know, I'm a little bit further away because something happens. But in those types of cases, you can hop on a plane and be there in like what? It's like in 2 hours?
2 hours, yeah.
In 2 hours. But I still get up there to visit them. I think that helped me get acclimated much better with the area, just knowing I can go up there pretty much whenever I want to.
I want to
visit them
at the same time that Kim's talking.
And how was the adjustment for your son?
Mm-hmm.
How was the adjustment for your son?
Oh, it was easy for him. He's 15 and he loves it. When we were talking about moving, I brought it up to him and I said, you know, we're thinking about moving. What do you think of this? Because, you know, he was about to start high school. He had gone to the same school his whole, you know, childhood.
Right.
So, and he was all about it. He was like, let's go. And so when we got down here, you know, I was curious to see if he was going to adjust like he thought he was going to. And he did absolutely adjust.
Oh,
His grades are better.
His grades are much better. He's on honor roll. He's in JROTC, and he loves it.
And he hasn't been to jail yet.
Oh, he wasn't in jail up there either.
That's awesome, because a lot of kids have a hard time adjusting, and
they do
want to leave their friends, and that actually, it's like a burden off of both of you.
Yeah, because
son is on board.
Yeah, because if he had a hard time adjusting,
Tim just said it's nice to be on vacation.
When he had if he would have had a hard time adjusting, it would have made it a lot harder on me to get used to being down here. If he probably had a really hard time adjusting, chances are me and him would have went back to PA.
Okay.
That left me here.
Oh yeah, like you would have cared. You would have been out buying everything you could buy. You wouldn't have your wife, you know, yell at you for buying stuff.
I don't really yell at me for buying stuff.
Not all the time, no. It depends on what it is. It's more or less, I don't really yell at you. It's just I lecture him because we don't have like a lot of space right now. He still needs to get a warehouse or a pole barn or a building.
I got a pole.
So let me ask you, Brian, because I don't think I heard you talk about it, but I didn't go into it. So when you move all your building back down to South Carolina, what's going to happen with Pam's position?
Well, I think there's 101 positions that Pam knows. She'd probably have to learn 102. I know. It took Susana a little while there.
Kama Sutra.
No, so Pam, like we've started to build Pam's YouTube. She has a large garage that she has like a little shop in. So
Thank you, Pam.
She sells on like Facebook. I've taught Pam a lot of like, so she could go, you know, and survive doing this if she wanted to. Like if she wasn't putting in the 40 hours a week for me and she was putting it in for herself, she would be able to survive. Like I've given her the tools that she needs to do this on her own. Obviously we're building her YouTube channel, so that when I do leave, she has a way, she's got a sugar daddy anyway. And wait, no, I think she's the sugar mama. I'm not sure sometimes. I know which one wears the pants, and it's not him. But I think that like she's quite capable. Pam is that person that like she'll do the work that it takes to make the money that she needs to make, whether that's on the street corner or whether it's at the flea market. Oh, okay. See, look, Pam, she smacked me for you.
Well, Pam,
you really want to work with us?
if you're going to go on a street corner, I could become your madam. That's not a problem.
Hello. I get my commission always.
You're not the pimp daddy.
Oh, I am. You can ask Pam.
One year he dressed up as, what was it, Gumby? Gumby pimp.
Gumby and a pimp outfit.
We got
and I danced on the brass pole.
We got invited to a Pimps and Hoes party. For Halloween. That was the theme.
So Pam says, I have some other resellers that want to hire me.
That doesn't surprise me though. She is a very good manager for us. She does very well. So, I think that there's people out there definitely if something were to happen that she's not, with us, that she would.
Yeah, if you like stubborn and hard-headed and very opinionated, Pam is an amazing employee.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm just kidding. I love her. She's amazing. And
absolutely.
Without her, we wouldn't be where we're at.
Yeah.
Gumby and dance.
I danced on the stripper pole. Yes, I did.
Yes, you did.
I wanted to interview Pam, but she's not ready. And when she
Pam's not a very like.
She's like me. We don't.
She's introverted.
Yeah.
Like I don't mind. Like we go out and we've been at Goodwill now, and people are like, "Are you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I look at it as like a business opportunity. Mm-hmm. Her, she's like, "Oh God, somebody else wants to sell you something."
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Like it wouldn't be such a big deal to me if we had more space. Mm-hmm. Because like they'll go up to and be like, "Oh, this, I have this warehouse or I have this store and I want to sell all the content." Then I'm like, Brian, where are we gonna put it? Like
she's like, I'm sorry, he's not buying right now.
Even though he could get storage units, it does suck having to move it. Like moving multiple times, and then you're in that money for a storage unit. And who knows, like a contents of a warehouse in a store could be multiple units. Mm-hmm. And that's why we got the warehouse that we did when we lived in PA, because it was honestly...
I had 16 storage units.
You had 16 storage units, and it was less expensive getting the warehouse and getting rid of the units than keeping the business in our basement and getting stuff out of the units. He does work better out of the house. I mean...
It's just I don't come home, but I stay at work.
Yeah, he'll stay at work, so he'll have to work on that bit. I think when it becomes summertime, if he's at a warehouse, he'll not want to be there all day. So he'll want to go fishing or going to the beach. Yeah. But in PA, there wasn't a whole lot for him to do. He didn't have a whole lot of hobbies there because there wasn't a whole lot of places for fishing and stuff like that were within like.
Yeah, and the strip club went to $2 per dance or $2 per tip.
I don't know. I heard the girls at that one weren't that hot, so.
Oh no, that one had some okay girls. Scarlett's did not. They always had that one 6 that looked like a 10 because all the other ones were 3s.
Oh, geez, that is so shallow. You know what?
It's a strip club. What do you expect me to be? Do you expect it not to be shallow? Like,
just shut your eyes then. I don't know what to tell you.
They still want tips to have a conversation with you. It's
then
like,
don't go.
But it's like arguing with your sister that pork chops come from cows.
Listen, she's
Oh my God.
well, she's good at math.
This is awesome because it's seeing another couple banter back and forth.
Yeah.
It's not just me. There's
We
other
feel
people like this.
we're not ever like, I mean, other than
Very few times do we have like actual conflict.
I mean,
type
other than
conversation.
28 days a month when she has her nature's friend, she's a great person.
And banter is fun. It's just bantering. It doesn't mean anything.
That actually feels good.
Aw. All right. On that note, we know where they're going. So
Nah, no.
Mm-mm.
Strippers are great people too.
Yes, Steve Ryan.
Absolutely.
Look, as long as I don't gotta know their name, it don't matter.
You should do a couple interviews. Oh, I should do a couples interview. Hey.
Well,
that's
first off,
pretty cool.
it's D-O. D-U-E means that you owe it to someone. like your bills are due.
Are you corrected?
Pam.
Are you
real, Pam?
I'm helping her with her semantics in English.
So Pam, are you since you won't do it by yourself, do you want to do David?
Oh, that would be great.
We could
That
do
would be.
David.
Oh my gosh. I can send you a list of questions
Really?
for her and David. Like it's bent a little bit to the left apparently. I don't know.
Stop it.
Oh my God. And on that note, everyone, we're going to go to straight
Pam,
up
since it's
and
working.
leave because we're not going to be bent anywhere. I just want to say thank you so much, Brian, for giving me this opportunity. And Kim, thank you so much for coming on as
You're
well.
welcome.
Yep.
I hope
Hopefully it's the first time you've ever been on live.
No, remember that one time with Pam, me and her sat down and we're answering some questions?
Oh, like because I was doing something?
Yeah, you were just running late.
And you guys were trying to get me in trouble. No,
they just it was supposed to be questions about like the business and it turned into personal questions.
Yeah,
they wanted embarrassing.
How'd you both date him? And
they wanted embarrassing info really about Brian. But I think that interview was probably one of the reasons I'm so camera shy because there was some trolls in there. And when I first went on, I was really nervous because like I said, I don't like being on camera. And I stuttered maybe once or twice and people were not very nice about it. I think luckily Mama G was on and she booted him out. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Out.
We don't worry about this.
Yep. Brian, again, thank you so much. Kim, thank you so much. This was amazing. I learned I didn't know much about you, but now.
Oh, Pam, David absolutely would do it. He likes being on camera.
Brian, can you talk to David and Pam?
You're gonna have a hard time getting Pam.
But it's a couple.
Yeah, but when she has to do an interview with David, it's like when you bring your 3-year-old on an airplane.
Keep still. Stop it.
No, I think Pam would be okay if she was on with David.
Yeah, no,
I think David, she would just be more comfortable.
Yeah, they would be good.
Yeah.
David would scare the shit out of you.
David would be fun. He's like me. He's like Brian.
Yeah.
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 David's my long lost sister.
Pretty much. He's your sister from another mister.
Yep.
Cute.
Yeah, but they're definitely he's a good guy, but they definitely, they both have that's the same type of humor, sense of humor.
Yeah, him and I.
Mm-hmm. Whereas Pam and I was kind of sit back and let them be the star of the show.
No, she'll hit him over the head with something.
Oh, just like I do you.
No, she'd use sharp objects.
Is there anything that you want to leave us with, Brian?
Anything I want to leave you with?
Any saying?
I can say what's going through your head. Don't say something.
I wasn't. I didn't say anything like it's going to burn when you pee later or anything. So no, look, just if you want to do this business, like we'll leave it like this. If you want to do this business, do it for the reasons that it makes you happy, not that it makes you money. And then the money itself will come from the happiness that you get from doing the business, because you're more inept to learn things and better yourself because hey, you're having a good time doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And surround yourself with like-minded people. Like people who put you down or say that you can't do something are the people who can't do those same things. So, if you're around people who say that you can do something, like you're gonna be successful.
That's right. And again, I know I started off with anyone that is not subscribed to Brian, Mr. Bisalot, in the description is his link for his channel. And he does put out some great content videos. And also his auctions are Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 1 o'clock. And they usually run until 4:30, whenever they're done or so.
And Pam runs those most of the time.
And,
Yeah.
So I just want to say thank you again for everyone being here. Kim, it was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you.
It was nice meeting you too.
Brian, thank you so much for agreeing to do this.
Sure.
Much love to both of you. Much success as well.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And
bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Guys, come on. There's 25 people still in here. You guys need to let go. Let it go. It's done. Go get yourselves ready for the marathon later at 4. At 4. It starts at 4 o'clock and it's on Hemlock's channel.
There's a marathon?
There's a marathon later.
With one lady or two ladies?
Oh, there's 2 ladies and then a bunch of 40 people going to be gangbusters.
I bought those pills and I got to use them.
And then there's one. No, there's 3 ladies. One is the boss, which is Rhonda. She's the boss. So it's going to be.
Heard that about Rhonda.
And I also want to leave everyone with Angel Tickle Toes and Stars and Back, guys. Mwah.